Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan and thank you so much for clicking on one of my bookish videos. Today I am just starting a new series on my channel, on my accounts, where I am going to be reacting to season 3 of The Summer Turned Pretty and specifically comparing the third season to the key scenes in We'll Always Have Summer, which the show is based off of. If you know me, you know how much I absolutely love The Summer Turned Pretty. This book series has been my favorite since I was a preteen, and I have been waiting for this season literally for so many years for Belly and Conrad to get their endgame. So I really wanted to do this series reacting to each episode and analyzing it, comparing it to the book, and I thought that there was no better way than to get us ready for the premiere of season 3 by talking about my key moments and scenes from We'll Always Have Summer that I am praying makes it into the show. So if you are interested in getting a little recap of We'll Always Have Summer to prepare you for season 3, then keep on watching. So here's the thing, I was gonna do this series just on my Instagram and I started filming reels and I could not stop talking. So then we expanded to this is going to be a YouTube series as well, because one thing about me is I will never be able to stop yapping about this book and about this series. So just as a warning, this is going to have spoilers. The show is based off of the book at this point in time. If you don't want spoilers, you should read the book so that you know what could happen. I'm Team Conrad. This is mainly Conrad moments because for me, that's what this book is all about. Okay, so first critical scene is chapter 4, which is the cheating scene. And honestly, that is where this whole book is based off of. At this point in time, Belly and Jeremiah have been dating for a few years in college together, and in chapter 4, Belly finds out that Jeremiah has cheated on her with Lacey while he was on spring break in Cabo. And once she finds out about cheating, they essentially are on the rocks, and that is when he ends up proposing, which is the basis for the entire third season. Are they going to get married, planning the wedding, and kind of the fallout after the cheating? Okay, next we have chapter 8, which is what I like to call the candy cane Christmas scene and Belly getting hurt. So in chapter 8, it is a flashback. Belly is going to cousins on a whim for Christmas. I believe her first year of college. She's home alone for Christmas. She gets there, she pigs out on some chocolate covered pretzels and some hot cocoa and falls asleep and wakes up to an intruder at the door, which turns out to be Conrad, who also had a very similar idea. He was home alone for Christmas and he wanted to go to cousins. And it's the first time that the two are reuniting for the first time in years after not seeing each other. Nothing happens, but it just feels so much like it used to be, which is so special to both of them. And the next day, when Belly wakes up, she has this feeling that Conrad is gone and is missing. So she runs out of bed, trips and falls, and Conrad finds her on the ground, which is when they have a moment where she feels embarrassed. She doesn't want him to pick her up because she thinks she gained weight from being in school and being at college. And he just says, Belly, you're the same old you. He does not care whatsoever. And it's one of my favorite scenes. So I've loved seeing it in the trailer and I hope we get an expanded scene in the show. Okay, so next we have chapter 11, which is the proposal scene where Jeremiah and Belly talk for the first time after she found out about him cheating, and Belly is super upset, rightfully so. Jeremiah is trying to win her back, and as they are talking out their issues, he proposes. Interesting way to deal with your relationship problems, but that's fine. Anyway, the proposal starts literally the rest of the book. This is in chapter 11, and for the rest of the book, they are dealing with this engagement and this wedding that they have to plan. Next, we have chapter 19, which is the garden party. So they have a little celebration in honor of Susanna for the women's shelter cause that she was a part of, where Jeremiah is making a speech in honor of Susanna, and both the Conklins and the Fishers go to this garden party. And in this chapter, Belly is getting ready for the garden party. She is up super early. She is showered and ready to go. Laurel is trying to talk to her saying, you think that Conrad's gonna be at this, right? Like he's gonna come. And Belly's like, why would I know? I haven't talked to him in years. And then Belly is like, but I know he's coming. And I know he's coming because I woke up early, I showered, I shaved my legs twice, I put on this super special dress that I got for the occasion. Like, she knows that her man is going to be there, and she is so nervous but so excited. Okay, then we skip ahead to chapter 28, where at this point Belly is staying at cousin's beach house with Conrad, and Jeremiah is kind of going back and forth for his internship. He's not really there that much. And in chapter 28, Jeremiah and Conrad go surfing one morning, and Conrad basically wants to talk to Jeremiah about the engagement, about the wedding, to kind of see like what's going on and why it's happening so quickly. And at the end of it, Conrad has his whole dialogue internally, because it's one of his first scenes in this book from his perspective, where he's like, he was marrying my girl and I couldn't do anything about it. I think we have a little sneak peek of that in the trailer as well, and I cannot wait to see it. Okay, next we have chapter 32, which is another scene that has been in the trailer, and it's another scene from Conrad's point of view when he's at college in Stanford with his like new girl that he was talking to, where she's asking him if he's ever been in love before, and he says just once. What was her name? Belly. And it's told in the context of him and Belly being together. They're like going out to run errands together, and Belly's asking him like, do you have a new girlfriend? Are you in love with her? And he is flashing back to when Angie asked him if he's ever been in love before, thinking about Belly. Next, we have chapter 37, where Conrad goes to talk to Laurel about Belly and about the wedding in hopes to convince Laurel to go to the wedding and help out with Belly and just talk to Belly again. Because at this point in time, Laurel is not here for the wedding. She is not down for it. She is not a fan. She thinks that they are too young and that they need more time to be together, which I think a lot of mothers would feel. Jeremiah attempts to talk to Laurel. She does not listen. Belly has tried to talk to her and she hasn't listened. In chapter 37, Connie goes out of his way to talk to Laurel and to tell her that Belly really needs her, and because Conrad and Laurel have such a deep connection, she just knows that he wouldn't go out of his way to say this and want her to support Jeremiah marrying Belly unless Belly really needed it. Then in chapter 38, we have the iconic peach scene, and let me tell you, they have low-key been teasing this scene so much. I am so curious to see how they do it in this season, because I have a lot of different theories about what's going to happen. But basically in it, Belly and Conrad again are out running errands because Conrad is basically helping Belly plan her wedding. They stop at a farmer's market where Conrad gets her peaches and they have a little moment. And if you've read this book, you know how iconic the peach scene is, and I cannot wait to see it on screen. Okay, chapter 42 is a key scene in terms of changing of the tides for how this wedding is going to happen and Belly and Conrad's relationship. So Conrad is out surfing one morning and he basically comes back in and is injured. He hurt himself on his fin and he's bleeding everywhere, and Belly is like, sit down, like I'm going to help you. She starts cleaning up his cut. He's like clearly very out of it, and they almost kiss. And when they almost kiss, it is so clear basically to both of them that they still have feelings for each other, and both of them just don't really know what to do in that moment because of the wedding. Chapter 46, Conrad, Jeremiah, Steven, and Jeremiah's frat brothers go out for like a bachelor night. Conrad's kind of just sitting there listening. He doesn't really know Jeremiah's friends that much, and Jeremiah and his friends are absolutely wasted, and the frat brothers start joking and making comments about how lucky that Jeremiah was to hook up with Lacey in Cabo on spring break. And that is when Conrad finds out about Jeremiah cheating, and he is pissed. Chapter 47 is the love confession of Conrad, and it gets me every time. It really, really does. The season is going to build up to this scene. Basically, Conrad comes back from the party with Jeremiah, knows that he needs to tell Belly. At this point, he thinks thinks that Belly does not know about Jeremiah cheating. He goes to talk to her and finds out that she knows, and she's still getting married to him. And he is pissed, and he sees this as his moment finally to step in and say what he's been wanting to say. And he says, I still love you. I've always loved you. I let you go because I made a mistake and I wanted you to be happy. And then he says the iconic, don't marry him, be with me. In chapter 54, we skip forward to the day of the wedding. And also remember, this is a very condensed timeline. They get engaged at the end of the school year and they literally are supposed to get married like in the middle of the summer, okay? Skip forward to the wedding day. Jeremiah has found out from Belly that Conrad told her that he still loves her. Jeremiah is pissed. Jeremiah runs away the morning of the wedding, is given a letter from Susanna that she wrote for all of the kids on the day that they get married. Jeremiah gets a letter from Susanna that was meant for Conrad, where she says that Conrad's only been in love once and she is so happy that he gets to be with Belly, and Jeremiah loses it. And let me tell you, the letter scene is going to be so iconic. I mean, it's crazy what happens, but we have seen it teased in season 2. We saw a clip of Susanna messing up who was getting what letter, so I know it's going to be in the show. And I think we have also seen a little teaser of this chapter in the trailer where Jeremiah is punching Conrad, because I just know for a fact they're going to get into a fight. At this point in time, the book kind of wraps up. If you don't know what comes next, put 2 and 2 together. But we have a few more kind of bonus scenes. So chapter 56 is the Valentine's Day flashback, which is the infinity scene. And we have already seen infinity been talked about a lot and had a few flashback scenes of Conrad and Belly in prior seasons about infinity. So I'm honestly not sure if they are going to put this scene into the show, but there has been a little clip from the trailer of Conrad and Belly laying on the ground and she's in like red pajamas. And I kind of get the vibe that that is going to be the infinity scene flashback of Valentine's Day in season 3. It's a flashback to Conrad showing up Valentine's Day of the year that Belly and Conrad were dating. He surprises her. She thought that he forgot. They spend the day together. They kind of have a bit of a picnic. And I really hope we get this scene in season 3. Finally, we have the epilogue, the fated, kind of dreaded epilogue, where Belly and Conrad end up getting together after a few years, and the book ends literally with them just like running off into the ocean on their wedding day. And let me tell you, I feel very confident that the show is going to end with Belly going abroad, Paris, her kind of finding herself, getting some time away from the boys and from all the drama, and Conrad coming to find her. I don't know if we're going to get a wedding scene between the two of them, but I do think we are going to get this 1 chapter epilogue drawn out with the bonus episodes that we have this season. And I am so excited for it. I really hope that Conrad goes chasing after her, because our man is a yearner and I believe in him. And I hope that it's in Paris, as we all suspect. And I just cannot wait to see it, because when I was growing up, this 1 chapter epilogue of like their happily ever after always made me sad that we didn't get it fleshed out more. Okay, finally, We'll Always Have Summer ends with the letters that Conrad wrote Belly when she was studying abroad, when he is trying to start a relationship with her again. And basically, the book ends with Belly kind of running off, and Conrad gives her time, but when she goes to study abroad, it's been a year or so, and he starts writing her letters, some happy memories and flashbacks that they had together. Belly doesn't answer, but she keeps those letters until reaches out to him again. They are just my favorite thing. So I am really hoping that they incorporate Conrad reading these letters in the like epilogue episodes and scenes, so we can get again his yearning and the iconic letters to Belly. Okay, so those are all of my main scenes that I need to be in the 3rd season of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I hope that you enjoyed this like little recap of the book if you haven't read it or reread it in a while, and now you know what to look for. I am so excited for the season. I have high hopes. I know that they're going to do what the book does, and Jenny is going to make it so special for all of us, and I can't wait to continue this series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video. I know it's a bit different, but I feel like with the 3rd season coming out, so many people are excited, and I want to just savor every second of this season because it's all we get and then it's over. So if you enjoyed this and you want to see more The Summer I Turned Pretty season 3 videos from me, then make sure you subscribe and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.